I'm on. I was like that. Am I on? Am I not on? I wasn't too sure then for a minute. Good morning, everyone. How are we? Welcome to today's live. Only today's live. To be honest, yeah, we only got one today. It is Tuesday, the 3rd of June. How are we all? Have we all had a good Monday? If I didn't see you last night, we were on last night, but I know not everyone can make the night time or the evening live. Saying that, I only do one evening live a week now. Anyway, yeah, there we go. How are we all? Good Monday, second day of the week. We're laying that foundation for that good weight loss week. It's a bit dreary and a bit drab. In fact, I wish I put a bit of a jump on this morning. I'm a little bit chilly willy. I'm a little bit chilly willy this morning here in the office. It is definitely a little bit cooler. Anyway, morning TikTok, morning Facebook, morning YouTube. We'll do the top 5 very, very shortly on the old Tiki Talks. Yeah, I think I'm all good. I'm a little bit like, what's going on this morning? To be honest with you, I've been actually just sorting out a new playlist for spin tonight, and I was like, oh my god, look at the time, I need to get on and do a live because we've got this live this morning just on social media, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube at 11 a.m. if you are in my community or you are on my one-to-one plan, which means you are in my community. Yes, we've got the first of this week. We've got 2 weight loss coaching lives this week. First one is this morning. I actually, in all honesty, haven't decided on the topic yet. I've got a list and I'm going to go through and I'm going to pick which topic I fancy doing this morning. So that is at 11 a.m. Guys, if you are on plan in the community, etc., I will just send the direct link out. I'm going to put, I'll put in the WhatsApp notifications, like all the topics. I'll do that shortly after this live. And then I'll send the link out again, broadcast it out to you guys so you can jump on and do the live. Right, let's do the top 5 this morning. As always, this is a weight loss live. So if you've got any weight loss-esque questions that you would like to ask me, please get in the chat, in the chat boxes on whatever format you're watching. Ask away, and if I can answer, I will do that for you. Right, let's do top 5 this morning on the old TikTok. Who's in? Lou's in at number 1. James in at number 2. Good morning, mate. Good morning, Lou. Sheila's in. Good morning at number 3. Michael P is in at number 4. Good morning, gorgeous. You can come again, Michael. Thank you very much. And Kirsty B is in at number 5. You are my top 5 this morning on TikTok. Thank you very much, guys, for coming straight on, saying hello, getting in there first. Steph GC, good morning. Kelly C, good morning. Raisin, Regan, not spoken to you for ages. Hope you're doing good. Good morning. Morning, Evans over there. Yeah, it's a bit like that. I think it's going to be a bit sunshine and showery today is how it's looking here. Paula's in, good morning. Angela's in, morning, boss. Morning. Jill's, we've just spoke to Jill about Heaven's opening. Lovely. Can you do some live time about food noise? That is from Jill. Yeah, I can do. So food noise is emotional hunger for me personally. Some people might have different things. Let's talk about hunger triggers. All right, hunger triggers. I could do that this morning, to be fair. Like I say, what I sort of do in my weight loss coaching lives is sort of write topics down. When I get asked questions and this, that, and the other, and I sort of go, what do I fancy talking about today? Hunger triggers might be a good one that I could do this morning. Like I say, I don't really have any. I was, go through like, I fancy talking about that. Yeah, I could talk about that this morning. That's good. Leave it with me, Jill. I will get in there. Faye, good morning. And then over on Facebook, we've got Jenny in, good morning, and Audrey's in as well. Good morning, guys. How did your Monday go? I did speak about this last night. My Monday went very, very nicely indeed. Though, I definitely had... Oh, no, I did try... Oh, my flipping... what is it? My camera isn't... my iPad isn't charged, so I can't have a look. I think I did about 1,900 calories yesterday, which I'm more than happy with. Maybe up to 2,000. I can't quite remember. Had a few bits of food yesterday that I've not tried before as well, which was good. Had a really good day's eating, actually, yesterday. Sometimes you just eat in a day, just like, I've really enjoyed it. And it's not just... When I say really good day's eating, I don't just mean, yeah, my calories were controlled. My protein yesterday wasn't great, but I don't really I don't track individual macros. I really, really don't track individual macros. I don't see there's any real point in confusing the situation. I could track macros, and I used to track my protein all the time. I used to try and hit 200 grams of protein a day. Did it improve my training? Did it improve my muscle retention? Did it improve my muscle building? No, not at all. And in 2020, when COVID hit, I just concentrated on doing calories, and I've done that ever since. And if I'm going into like a muscle building phase in the gym, I'll just add a couple of I'll just increase my calories and just dedicate those calories to protein, which is just automatically going to bump my protein up a little bit. But yeah, but I do have a little glance here and there, and I'm just like, I'll have a little glance here and there, but I don't try and hit really specific amounts each day. There's just honestly, there really is no point. There's too many people try and overcomplicate things. They genuinely do. And it's something, it's one of my, I have a lot of philosophies around weight loss, and a big philosophy of mine is stop overcomplicating things. Really, let's keep things as simple as we can. The simpler something is, the easier it is to follow. I'm not tracking for 2 weeks. I need to learn how to manage my eating. Yeah, I mean, I get where you're coming from there, James. And I know you're having a weight loss break this week, which is absolutely fine. I totally recommend that you have one because you've been on it really since Christmas. The thing about learning to manage your eating, like, I can manage my eating without tracking calories. Now, don't get me wrong. I do track managing my eating. When I say I don't track calories, it's whether I use an app or not. I'll always track calories, right? I'm always conscious of, how many calories a meal is, how many calories a snack is. And some people might say that's possibly a little bit obsessive. It isn't. I need to be like that because I used to be 37 stone and I don't want to be like that anymore, right? And because of that, I need to put a management tool in. Some people can subconsciously manage their money, right? Some people can subconsciously, they get paid at the end of the month. They're very much in a routine. They get the bills to go out at the beginning of the month. They're quite stringent with their spending. They look after the pennies to the pounds, look after themselves. They don't do this, they don't do that. And really, they don't need to, check their bank account that often. It's just they know what their spending is. Like I say, they're a bit tight or they're very restrained with their spending. And at the end of every month, they've always got some money left over from the previous wages, and then they might bump that into a savings account, and then they get paid again. I can't do that. I'm not great with money. I'll hold my hands up. I'm not. I have to check my bank account all the time. I check it, and then I go to, if I'm going shopping, let's check the bank account, right? And I'll try and stick to an amount, right? And I do exactly the same with my calories. So it is just a management tool. And whether I'm putting my calories into NutriCheck or not, I'll always stick to a calorie structure. So when I'm making my lunch, I'll be like, right, I've got about 500-600 calories. Right, my chicken's 250 calories, my rice is 200 calories, my broccoli's 30 calories, and my curry sauce is 100 calories. Right, I just know, and because I've done it for so long, it just sits in here anyway. So whether I enter that into an app or not, I am conscious. So we do need to learn subconsciously how to control our eating, yes, but I'll never not track calories. I don't find it a chore. I'm not obsessed about it. I give myself lots of food freedom around it. But it is my bank account for my eating. And exactly the same as checking my bank account on a daily basis, just to, I check my business bank account on a daily basis because I do accounts and I've got money coming in and money coming out and bills to pay and tax bills and all this, that, and the other. And I check my personal account on a daily basis. So, and that helps me control my spending. And if I didn't, I would just ting, 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 online shopping, this, that, and the other. And next thing, I'd be like, getting notifications. You have got into your arranged overdraft. I'm like, oh, I'm at. Oh, God Christ, I've spent quite a lot more. So some people need it, some people don't. But I'll always track my calories, right? And like I say, I don't find it a chore. I just find it a great tool to keep me in control, to stop me going back to being 37 stone. And times where I do slip with being as conscious with my calories and not being as good is times where, you do start to gain a bit of weight back. And it's not for me, so many people ask me, do I need to track calories for the rest of my life? Well, you need to be conscious of your food for the rest. If you've had if you're prone to gaining weight, prone to being overweight, you've had severe weight issues in the past, then you do need to constantly be trying and control the food. Some people subconsciously can control their food. I can't, right? So I need to keep a management place in. Like I say, some people can consciously control their spending. I can't. I look at my bank account a lot of the time. Some people can organize their life quite. I can't. I have a diary. Right. Again, we always need management tools to keep us in control of things. And that's all tracking calories is. It's a management tool to keep me in control of my eating. Otherwise, it could go wayward. I have a diary, right? And every time, my spin classes are in there, my lives are in there. If I have any appointments, they go in there. Because if I didn't have a daily diary, right, again, I'd be all over the place. My daily diary sends me reminders. I only come on this morning because I'm sat there, I'm creating a new playlist, sorting out some mixes for my spin class later on, and then suddenly I get a notification on my phone. TikTok Live is now. Christ, is it? Right, let's get that sorted out. So, yeah, we're always going to need, certain people are going to need management tools. Some people will never need to keep a daily diary. They can just keep a track of everything in there. If you can't, you use a diary, right? Some people, like say, can keep track of their spending. I can't. Certain things I can't. I mean, if I can't keep in control of it, I have to put management tools into place. And my management tools that I put into place is like I say, is tracking my calories. But there is nothing wrong with testing yourself for a couple of weeks and going, do you know what? I'm not going to track my calories in terms of using an app. I am going to stick to a calorie structure. I know how much I normally have for breakfast. I know how much I normally have for lunch. I know my routine. Let's give it a go for a couple of weeks and let's just see, how my weight goes on the scales. Yeah. I've tracked calories on an app since 2019. It's been a blessing and a curse. I get that, Paula, and I think I could possibly say that. I first started tracking calories February 2016. I came back from, Rachel was telling me about my fitness. We were on holiday in Mexico, and I was very conscious of kickstarting. I don't like that term, but I was very conscious of getting back on the weight loss trail, right? And at the time, I was saying, how do I kickstart my weight loss? Again, I don't like that terminology. There's nothing that you need to kickstart your weight loss in a way. Maybe I'm looking at it in the wrong way. But basically, I'd sort of plateaued a lot of 2015 with my weight loss, and I wanted to get skin removal. So I needed to get my weight loss going again. And she was telling me, such and such at work is using MyFitnessPal. I was like, what's MyFitnessPal? And I booted it up in February 2019. And, February 2016. And yeah, have I made tracking calorie mistakes along the way? Loads. I've made absolutely loads of mistakes on the way. And like Paula said there, it's been a blessing and a curse. But what you need to do is when you do things that maybe aren't in the healthiest fashion, when you do things that maybe aren't in, you might be slipping into that more obsessive frame of mind, or, you might not be doing things sustainably. You've got to learn from it. And that's what I've done. And all the mistakes I've made from tracking calories, right, is what's led me to be the coach that I am today. And because I've made the mistakes, I try and help you guys so you don't need to make them. What mistakes have I made? So I've been tracking calories consistently for 9 years, right? And unless it's Christmas or I've been on holiday, I track my calories, right? I'm on it. But what things have I done since 2016 that I don't do anymore? Or things that have crept in and I've gone, no, that's not good. Don't do that anymore. So one of my big philosophies around tracking calories is I don't track things that are under 20 calories anymore, right? I used to be, when I first started tracking calories, I was on it. I was the one that was weighing the garlic granules, getting like, how do I find the calories in salt? There are no calories in salt. Yeah, there is. There's got to be calories. I was that person weighing my OXO cube. I was the, I only want half an OXO cube. I'm only making one portion of something. Right, let's cut how much does an OXO cube weigh? Put that into MyFitnessPal. And that's going down an obsessive line. After a period of time, I was like, this is, tracking me 3 slices of onion on my sandwich and my lettuce and this, that, and the other. And it was taking me as long to track a sandwich as it was to make it. And from that, and I'm like, this is a bit of a ball ache. And a lot of you guys think that, I guarantee, when you're tracking calories. Being me, being the logical thinker that I am, I'm like, do you know what? This little bit of lettuce, onion, and cucumber on my sandwich is like 12 calories. Is it really worth weighing all this out for 12 calories? You know? So, and I kind of like, and I undered hard about it, and I got in my head, and I'm scanning me 1 calorie can of Coke Zero and this, that, and the other. And I went through my diary, and I added up all the things that were under 20 calories, like a bit of salad on my sandwich, that OXO cube, the garlic granules. And when I added it all up over a week, it came to like 160, 170 calories. And I'm kind of like, it's about finding that balance, right? Between being as accurate as possible with still doing things sustainably. And I'm like, all this I'm putting in, like to scan me bread in my sandwich, I just scan the packet of bread or tack, dead easy, right? Me ham, you know, I've got 120 gram pack of ham and I'm using half of it, 60 grams. I don't need to weigh it out. I don't need to, you know, it's in there. You know, I'm using lighter than light mayonnaise. Whether I use, you know, it's 11 calories per tablespoon. Whether I use 1 tablespoon or 2, and I just used to put it in as a tablespoon and a half. It covers it, right? And then all this lettuce and getting me scales out. Now, don't get me wrong, certain things, yes, we do weigh, right? 100%, because you can just take the piss out of yourself, really, and you're not going to be as accurate as you should be with certain things. So it's kind of like using common sense. And I know some people don't have the same common sense as other people, but when I took everything out, like I say, I added it all up, and I was just like, I'd rather miss 160 calories worth of food and be 160 calories deeper, less of a deficit. So if I'm tracking to 3,500, I'd rather be in 3,300 calorie deficit a week, which in the grand scheme of things, over a month, isn't even going to equate to 1/4 pound of body fat that I'm missing out on, and not have to be as obsessive with all these pretty much pointless things. So I stopped tracking things, and it didn't affect my results in any way whatsoever. In fact, it probably improved my results, because instead of obsessing over things that don't need obsessing over, right, it just made tracking way more sustainable, which made me more consistent, and the results kicked in. So, and again, some people might be like, no, every single thing that goes in your mouth needs to be weighed. And like I say, some people will take the rip out of that. Some people might be like, you know, and I've spoke about that before. Now, I get a lot of people asking me, do I track fruit and veg? Yeah. Right. So just because I don't track 10 calories worth of salad that might go on a sandwich, if I'm having a big salad that's 70, 80, 90 calories, it's very low calorie for the volume, but I track it. You know, if I'm having oranges and apples and fruit, because I probably eat, I would say over the space of a week, I probably eat 3,000 to 4,000 calories of fruit and veg, maybe. You know, maybe not. Maybe I do. I don't know. I'll go through and I can add it up, right? Now, so if I don't track my fruit and veg and I eat 3,000 calories of fruit and veg a week, then that is going to... So missing out on 160 calories because of garlic granules and salt and pepper and an OXO cube and a little bit of onion on me butty and me 10-calorie can of Monster that I have before I go to the gym, right, doesn't make a jot of difference. Not tracking something that makes up 20% of your caloric intake is going to make a difference. So, yeah, I stopped tracking things like that, and it made things more sustainable. I used to stick to the same amount of calories every single day, right? And when I started my weight loss journey, I gave myself a set amount of calories every single day and then gave myself these treat nights. When I started tracking calories, I actually increased my calories to 3,000 and I actually tried to stick to... I don't know why I changed my thought. I did it for literally a couple of weeks. And straight away I was like, no. And then from using a calorie counting app, rather than sticking to 2,500 calories Monday to Sunday and then having these 3 treat nights, that's where I was then able to look at something and have lower calorie days and higher calorie days. Other things that I've done from tracking calories. I used to adjust sometimes. Well, I got addicted to weighing daily. And when I weighed myself daily and I got a gain, now this maybe isn't a tracking calories thing, but what I used to do is I used to adjust my calories in my app for that day. So if I got a gain, I'd drop my calories down to like 1,800 because I've gained. And then when I got a loss, I used to increase my calories to like 3,000 or a bit more because I've got, so to give myself a bit more, or I put my calories, back up to my daily average, right? And again, messing about with things too much. I also, from tracking calories, I used to, if I was taking a week off from the gym, I'd lower my calories down, right? Now, again, that might just be an issue with calories. It might track, but from doing that, I was like, I just found it really hard for that week. I'm like, yeah, but you're not moving as much now. You don't need as many calories. It doesn't matter. It's all about averages. And controlling your calories is the hardest part of a weight loss journey. So to keep messing about with them, because for the odd week your calorie burn drops, because I don't increase my calories when the odd week my calorie burn increases, which, last week I went to the gym pretty much every day, right? And I base my calories off me doing 10,000 steps a day on average and 3 gym sessions a week. Last week I did 7 gym sessions and I averaged 11 and a half. I've not increased my calories last week. I'm in a bigger deficit because I've done a bit more. So it's all about that. So I've done lots of things over the years that are wrong, but I've also done a lot of things that are right. And things that I've done are wrong, I've adjusted them. So like Paul said there, it can be a blessing and a curse. Now I've got to a point where it's just a blessing. It's just a great management tool to keep me in control. I'm classing myself as obsessive. I weigh absolutely everything. Even if I scan bread on the app, I'll weigh it and input the calories. Really trying to get out of this habit now after what you said. Yeah, look, if you've got an obsession with anything, right? If you've got an obsession with anything, you're not going to have a healthy relationship with it. And healthy relationships do not lead to long-term, success. They just don't. Yeah. And I get it, if you scan a slice of bread, it says on the packet, bread's 100 calories a slice, right? And you might weigh it, and one slice of bread might weigh 43 grams, and one slice of bread might weigh 48 grams. Again, you don't need to be that obsessive with it. If it, basically what an app will do is it'll go, this is an 800 gram loaf. There's 20 slices of bread in that loaf. 800 grams of bread is this much. Divide that by 20. On average, each slice is this much. You don't need anything that comes out of a packet, anything comes out of a tin or you might want to weigh the portion size out. So if you're just going to have half a tin of beans and put the other half in. But again, I don't do that because Rachel doesn't eat beans. So if I have half a tin of beans, I put in my app, I put in the bowl what I think is half a tin, and the rest goes in the fridge and I track it as half a tin. And then when I go and eat the other half a tin, I put that in as half a tin. So, a tin of beans is 400 grams. One portion that I do might be 220. One portion might be 180. But when added together, it's 400 grams. It's half a tin and half a tin. Does that make sense? So, yeah, if you are overly obsessive with it, it will become a chore. And anything that becomes a chore, you're not going to be consistent with. So, but it is about finding that balance between not being obsessive, but still being as accurate as we need to be. And it can be a little bit of trial and error to find that balance. Anna, good morning. Making mistakes is how we learn. Absolutely, Paul. Love that. You'll never improve unless you make mistakes because no one's perfect straight away. Lee, hi, I'm new here. Good morning, Lee. Hope you're well. This is a Weight Loss Live. I'm a weight loss coach. Little background to me, if anyone doesn't know who I am, if you're new to my page. My name's Neil. I am 44 years of age. I'm holding on to that because I'm 45 in a couple of months. 11 years ago, I weighed over 500 pounds, 234 kilograms, or is this imperial? I was 37 stone. I went on a weight loss journey and I have lost half my body weight. And from going on I've not only been on a weight loss journey, I've also been on a career change journey because from my weight loss, I wanted to help other people with their weight loss because the way I did it, I felt was totally different to all these crazy, weird and wonderful fad diets that we get chucked down our neck. So I became a personal trainer in 2018 and then I moved into the online space during COVID and here I am. So if you've got any weight loss questions, I'm currently from the start of my journey 265 pounds down. And yeah, I'm an online weight loss coach. And if any of you guys need help, I get so many people coming on board asking questions that are struggling with their weight loss journey. You don't need to struggle, right? In a way, right? In a way. I'm not saying I'm a miracle cure. I'm not saying I hold all the answers to what's going on in here, but I'll help you as much as I can. But some people struggle with the absolute basics. What I am is a miracle cure for the basics. I'll give you a plan that will sort the basics out. We then just need to work on you sticking to that plan. And you do need to stick to something, at the end of the day, making those changes. TikTok profile, click on my link tree, Facebook page, YouTube page, find my link tree in my page, send over an inquiry form. Just come and sign up. You can either join my community. It's two ways you can get help from me. My community and my one-to-one plan. The community, you'll get kind of like community help from the community. You'll get me doing lives and stuff like that just for the community. If you feel like you need some direct support, you want a plan, you want to follow a plan, you want to check in with me, make sure everything's going right, then join my one-to-one plan. Right? You send over an inquiry form, I'll send you all the details, or you can just sign up and we'll get you going on Monday. Wayne Daly, no good. Every 2 weeks, he's good. Absolutely. Mistakes I've made. Now, this all depends on mindset, relationship with scales. If you have a healthy relationship with the scales, right? Where you get on the scales and you see a £2 gain and you're like, oh yeah, it's Monday. I've eaten a bit more over the weekend. I've got a bit more food weight, a bit more water weight in my system. That's fine. It's a natural gain. All good. Weigh yourself daily. If you get on the scales on a Wednesday and they go up £2 and you feel like, yeah, time of the month's on its way, that causes bloating, or you were like, I had a few more carbs yesterday and a bit more salt yesterday. That's caused a gain. No issues. Just crack on as normal. Right? Weigh yourself as often as you want. How do you know you've got an unhealthy relationship with the scales? It changes your mood. Dead simple. Dead simple. Does weighing change your mood? And more importantly, if you weigh and see a bump on the scales, pound up, I'm doing everything right, Neil, stuck to my calorie deficit, everything's, spot on. Does it put a downer on your day? Does it put a downer on your mood? Does it start questioning? Does it make you start to question things? If that is the case, stop weighing daily. Because when you weigh daily, you're going to see daily fluctuations. You're going to see increases in water weight, food weight, and water retention. And that has nothing to do with being in a calorie deficit. That can be down to just natural body responses, what you're eating, medication, stress, all sorts of different things, dehydration. So you're always going to see daily fluctuations. And that's all weighing daily shows you. It shows you daily fluctuations. Weighing daily will never show you fat loss or fat gain. It does not show you fat loss or fat gain. It doesn't. Right? It genuinely doesn't. A pound of body fat is 3,500 calories and it weighs a pound. Right? Look at this logically. If you're in a 500 calorie a day deficit on average, right, all the scales would show, if it just showed fat loss, is 0.1. You're trying to lose one of these a week, divide 1 pound by 7, right? And the answer is 0.14. So if you're weighing yourself daily to see fat loss, which is what we're consistently trying to do on a weight loss journey, all you would see is a 0.14 drop one day, right? Then the next day it would be a 0.28. The next day it'd be 0.42. The next day it'd be 0.56. It would take you 4 days to see half a pound if it was as linear as that. Now, don't get me wrong. If you follow my philosophies and you eat a little bit less during the week, a little bit more at the weekend, during the week you might be in a slightly bigger calorie deficit. I'm in a 1,500 calorie deficit a day normally during the week, around that. Right? So for me, technically, I could see a half pound loss a day because I put myself in a big deficit. At the weekend, I actually put myself in more of a calorie surplus, maintenance to surplus. So I actually gain a bit of body fat back. So over a week, right, I might lose 2.5 pounds of body fat. Saturday, Sunday, I might gain half a pound of body fat because I have more calories at the weekend. Over the week, it's a 2 pound loss. But for most people, 500 calorie deficit, 0.14 a day. For someone like me, right, it's 0.28 really. I might have got my math a little bit wrong. Oh no, during the week, yes, we're in a strong amount go at the weekend. But even if I was in a 1,000 calorie a day deficit, 0.28 one day, 0.5. So weighing yourself daily and seeing a pound gain, pound loss, pound gain, this, that, and the other. It's not body fat loss or gain. You can only lose a pound of body fat if you're in a 3,500 calorie deficit. And no one's doing that daily unless you're currently 35, 40 stone and walking 10,000 steps a day. Yeah. Also, does a bad weighing makes you restrict your calories more? Is another bad 100%. 100%. And that's what I said a bit ago. I got obsessive with weighing daily. And when I saw a gain on the scales, I reduced my calorie intake for that day because I'm basically starving myself because I've seen a gain and I need to correct that gain. And then when I saw a loss on the scales, I went back to my normal daily calories. And what happened then is, over the space of a week, I ended up in a more severe deficit than I wanted to be in, more restrictive deficit than I wanted to be in, and then you're eking into hitting that brick wall, right? Again, there's just, weighing daily is fine. If like I say, if you weigh daily and it doesn't affect your mood, it doesn't affect anything, you fully understand, like, yeah, it's just that, it's just the other, weigh daily. But from my experience as a weight loss coach, from the experience that I've got from my own weight loss journey, right? I don't want to say. Yeah, the experience I've got from my own weight loss journey, right? We are emotionally attached to the scales and it does affect what we do. And when you've got when you've got a bad relationship with something, the best way to fix a bad relationship is to take a step back, is to get out of it, get out of that relationship, right? There's nothing to say further down the line when you've created a healthy relationship, you can step back in. Now, we don't need to step away from scales permanently, but we need to start using them in a fashion that is going to support us mentally. Now, I've seen lots of fitness instructors or weight loss coaches or whatever online say, if you weigh weekly, if you weigh fortnightly, what that does is it puts a lot of emphasis on that one weigh-in. And if you have a bad weigh-in, right, weighing fortnightly, you've then got to wait a further 2 weeks before you see, possibly. So that's going to leave you peed off. The honest response to that is, if you are being consistent, right, and you weigh once every 2 weeks, it's very rare you are going to see a gain on the scales. It genuinely is. Now, don't get me wrong. If you're female and it hits when it's time of the month, that's going to cause a gain on the scales. And if that is the case, then move your weigh in. I had a client last week. She messaged me saying, look, the way my check-ins fall, I'm very, very regular with my period. The way my check-ins fall, every other check-in is always going to land on time of the month. And I was like, right, let's bump it a week. Right, so let's go 3 weeks without weighing rather than 2. Or what do you want to weigh next week? So we'll do one that's quite close. If it's TOTM now, and that's going to cause a false negative on the scales, let's weigh next week, right? And we'll get a more positive result. And then let's go fortnightly from there. So if you are that consistent with your period, you're never really going to get a check-in where we'll land on time of the month. You might get the odd one, but we can't really change that. Just, sometimes it can end up where you're just a bit late for a couple of days or whatever. So, yeah, if you are now, look, if you're being inconsistent with your journey and you're not doing what we should be doing, it doesn't really matter. When you're flipping weight, you're not going to get consistent results. It is that simple. Like, we've got to be honest with that, But if you are being consistent, then and you weigh every couple of weeks, you'll be fine. You genuinely will. And again, if you're weighing every couple of weeks and you're getting lots of fluctuations still, I weigh this week, I've lost, then I maintained, then I lost, then I gained, then I gained, then I lost. Again, you're being inconsistent. Come work with me. We'll improve that accountability. We'll get you some support. We'll get the consistent results coming in. Do I have clients that are working on my one-to-one plan with me that, they're not getting the results every 2 weeks. Yes, but those people aren't doing the plan. And I mean that in the best possible, and they're not, right? I know that, yeah? They're messing about with it. They're not trusting the process. They're not, and I do have clients like that and it's not their fault. They're just broken when it comes to weight loss, right? It's just my job then to keep encouraging them and keep trying to keep them motivated and keep them doing what we need to do to improve that. Being a weight loss coach isn't just here's your plan, follow that, off you pop, brilliant. Next thing you've hit your target. I would love it to be that simple in a way, but part of my motivation is working with the clients that are really struggling and getting them into a much better position with their weight loss. That gives me like the ultimate job satisfaction. I love seeing my clients lose, right? And, I am very, very lucky as a coach, and again, please don't compare yourself to anyone else if you're currently struggling, because you might be struggling at the moment and someone's smashing it, and someone that is smashing at the moment in 3 months' time might be struggling. That's part of a weight loss journey. But I would say, 80% of my check-ins that I get, so Friday's manic check-in day, and I will probably do something like 60 check-ins. I will have at least 40 losses. Morning, Neil. You motivate me. A month on, I'm still in the same place. Danny, that is brilliant. Danny worked with me for a good period of time. She lost a tremendous amount of weight, hit her goal weight, actually went past her goal weight. And it's awesome that if you're still in the same place, still maintaining those losses, Danny, absolutely love it. Again, that's job satisfaction right there. Stefan's in. Morning, boss. Morning, mate. Oh, you good? Callum's in. Morning, mate. Let me scan down, see if I've missed anyone. I've shredded 80 pounds in 8 months. 10 pounds a month, Nathaniel. That is serious weight loss. Could it be a little bit restrictive? I don't know. It depends what your start weight is. What would we class as, for me, over restriction is all down to calorie intake, really, right? Yes, it is dependent on what we burn compared to what we consume. But if you're eating I eat 2,600 calories a day on average, right? Which is a good amount of calories. And I burn 3,500. And for a lot of people, 1,000 calorie deficit would be too restrictive. But eating 2,000 isn't a restrictive amount of calories. It is a good amount of calories. And even if I increased my movement up to 4,000 calories and moving into like a 1,500 calorie deficit a day, that's £3 a week. That is roughly where Nathaniel has been, maybe a little bit less than that, right? It is a big deficit, and having a big deficit can be overly restrictive. But if you have a big deficit, but you're still eating a high amount of calories, it makes it a lot less restrictive. So people can lose, I try and get my clients to lose a pound a week on average. If I've got someone that comes to me and they're 16 stone, right? And they're literally like, yeah, I'm 16 stone, but I'm averaging 20,000 steps a day and I hit the gym 5 days a week, and I find that very sustainable. All right, that's fine. So that person that's 16 stone is burning 4,500 calories a day because of the ridiculous amount of movement they're doing. I can put that client in to a 1,500 calorie. They can eat 3,000 calories a day, right, and still drop 2 to 3 pounds of body fat a week, 10 pounds a month. Is it overly restrictive? No, because they're eating 3,000 calories a day. If you create the deficit more through increasing movement, upping calorie burn, than through calorie restriction, it does make the journey more sustainable, less restrictive. And, anyone here now that goes, I want to lose £2 a week, now, don't get me wrong, if you're 11, 12 stone, that ain't happening, right? That just really, because there's only so many calories you can burn. But someone that's 16 stone, 17 stone, they're still carrying a reasonable amount of weight around and they're doing a ridiculous amount of movement. We can put you into a bigger deficit, right? not a lot of people are able to do that movement. It could be physical, it could be a time management thing. So that's why we try and keep it at £1 a week. So Nathaniel there has lost £80 in 8 months. That's £10 a month on average. And for a lot of people, that'd be way too restrictive. Now, if Nathaniel comes to me and goes, yeah, it's because I've eaten 1,200 calories a day, that is too restrictive. If he comes and goes, no, I've eaten 2,250 calories a day, I've just had fantastic movement, I'm like, all right, that makes it more sustainable. Does that kind of make sense? You know? Michael P, high activity and emotional stress. What's that? It's all relative in terms of your body size, etc. High activity, emotional stress. Yeah, kind of. Height doesn't really make a massive difference. Height is not. It doesn't make a massive difference. A lot of people come to me and go, I don't burn many calories because I'm only 5 foot. Whether you're 5 foot or 5'5", your height doesn't make a massive difference. Where taller people burn a few more calories is because the heart has to work slightly harder because it's a further distance to get blood to end of limbs, end of legs. Right? It's kind of how it works. But it doesn't increase things that much. The biggest thing our calorie burn is dependent on is actually weight. Weight is number one, right? Weight is number one. Then it's sex, right? Males and females do burn different amounts of calories. That's just biology. Then it would go to age. Then it would go to height, right? In that order. And we do base our metabolism off height, weight, sex, and age. But in relative, it would be weight, sex, age, and then height would be back of the queue. So our calorie burn is mainly weight, activity, absolutely. And then emotional stress is controlling of our calories. It's like, how well can we control our calories with what is going on in our life? And obviously, a lot of people that have weight issues, certainly severe weight issues, have a lot of emotional eating issues. It's there. It's there. What is it? Could you tell me how many calories I should be doing? Lee, absolutely. If anyone if you're like, I don't want one-to-one coaching. I'm quite happy going on my own. I'm quite happy, being in control of my own progress, writing down, weighing myself, this, that, and the other. But I really need to know what calories. And the calories I give you will be 95% right? They'll never be 100%. I'll never say that. They'll be 95% right. If you use an online calorie calculator, right, I would say you're probably going to be about 50-60% accurate, right? And you need to work from that number. You use me because of my experience and my knowledge, right? And the amount of calories I've created for people over the years and the success that I've had as a coach, you're going to be 95% right. You want my calorie breakdown, you just need to join my community. TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, you know where to go. Get into my link tree. Click on my link tree, click on the community. Use code WELCOME at checkout. It's £5 for your first month to join my community. There's no contract. You can cancel any time. You can come in for a month, come in for a week just to get your calories and disappear again. It's absolutely fine. You're not tied into anything. Use code WELCOME. It is £5. £5. Come into the community and you'll get a full calorie breakdown from me. You don't just get, here's your calories. You should be eating this, right? You'll get metabolism, maintenance, and your calorie deficit. You'll get a full calorie breakdown. You'll see exactly how I've based your calories. Amy Evans, good morning, boss. Good morning. I'm cold this morning. I'm going to go put a hoodie on. Yes, good morning. I'm going shortly, another hour. Possible flight disruptions today due to weather. Not good for someone that isn't a good flyer. Oh, why is that? What weather? What weather? Right, I won't worry about it too much. You'll be absolutely fine. I don't know who you're flying with. If you're flying with Ryanair, there'll be flight delays anyway. There always is. I don't think I've ever got on a Ryanair flight that's left on time. I just don't think I have. Also, with flights, the later you fly through the day, the more chance there is of disruption in different bits and pieces. So I always fly. I like to fly at 6 a.m. Me, if there's a flight at 6 a.m., I'll tend to get it. When we go to Tenerife in October, we're flying at 3 o'clock, and that's because we're going on a Friday, and Friday's check-in day. So I said to Rach, we could have gone at 7 a.m. or we could have gone at 3 a.m. And I literally said to Rach, I was like, let's go at 3. Yeah, we miss out on the Friday a little bit, but I can come in the office, I can get my work done, and then we can just go on holiday and enjoy. I will take my laptop. I'll be working in the airport as well, having a couple of beers. But yeah, when we got to bed at 6 a.m., no flight disruptions at 6 a.m. Why? Because we are the first flight out of Manchester Airport. So there could be no kind of delays, really. But I won't worry about it, Ryan. You'll be fine. You'll be there before you know it. I've lost 3 stone on Manjaro and 3 stone by myself. I'm 11 stone, struggling to get the last stone off. Laura, why do you want to be 10 stone? There you are. There's a question. I found this common trend when I became a one-to-one personal trainer. And I am going to stereotype females because males never said this to me. Every female that I PT'd and I asked them if they had a goal weight, it was 10 stone. Whether they were 5'2" or 5'9", they wanted to be 10 stone. And I was quite honest with them and said 5'2" and 10 stone and 5'9" at 10 stone are 2 completely different weights. Why? What is this obsession with being 10 stone? And I think, is it the lowest double figure number? Like, I don't know. So a lot of people, how do we know, Laura, like you've lost 6 stone. So you used to be 17 stone. How do we know 11 stone isn't your ideal weight? Well, my original goal was 12 because I was nearly 17 stone, and now I'm 11. I would be happy with one more. So you're chasing numbers. Stop chasing numbers. We do it because when you get to 10 stone, you'll be like, do you know what? I might just do one more. Next thing, you're 9 stone. Then you're like, I might just do one more. Next thing, you've got an eating disorder. Right? Stop chasing numbers. If you were 17 and your goal was 12 and you're now 11, you've smashed it. You've absolutely smashed it. We've got to stop chasing numbers on a set of scales, right? We really, really have, right? I've seen it too many times. I've got so many clients. What's your goal weight? This. I get into the goal weight. I think I'll do another one. Why? Well, I'm not quite happy. Right. If you're not happy at 11 stone, you're not going to be happy at 10. Right? A lot of people put down to not being happy down to their weight. And when they then get to their goal weight and they're still unhappy, they still think it's their weight. No, maybe there's other things in life that are making you unhappy. Let's work on those as well. Right? Maybe it's your job. Maybe it's your relationship. Maybe it's where you live. Maybe it's, something else. Right? And I mean that sincerely. Again, but stop. Please stop chasing numbers on scales because it is a one-way ticket to an eating disorder. It really, really is. Right? Because you'll keep pushing, you'll keep pushing. And if it's genuinely, look, if you were 17 stone, Laura, and I said you're going to be 11 stone, you'd snap my flipping hand off. You'd absolutely have been like, I would give anything to be that weight. You're that weight. Accept it. Work on maintaining. Right? Now, if you're not maybe 100% happy with what you see in the mirror, go change your body composition. Go to a gym. Go training, right? But you don't need, right? You do not need to keep chasing numbers on a set of scales. I don't know anyone that's 11 stone, whether you're 4'11" or you're 5'6" or whatever. I don't know anyone 11 stone where their weight is making them unhealthy. Their lifestyle could, but your weight is not putting any sort of pressure on your body whatsoever. You are a healthy weight. Forget what the BMI scale says, right? So, yeah, right. I'm 5'6", had 5 children. So I'd have it, right. Laura, if you're 5'6" and you've had 5 kids, right, and you've got down to 11 stone from 17, you're done. You are absolutely done with weight loss. Now, if you want to go and work at changing body composition a little bit, strengthening the body, improving some posture, which I guarantee you've been lugging 5 kids around over your lifetime, I can guarantee your posture is probably not the best it's ever been, right? Just changing, sitting up straight, strengthening your back so you pin your shoulders back a little bit. Like, a lot of people ask about, like, how to get rid of stubborn belly fat. When you slouch, you push your belly out. When you have good posture and you stand up straight, it flattens your stomach. Sometimes we just need to work on that and you'll change your body composition. It's not just about building muscle, there we go. So, yeah, just maintain, work on that maintain, be happy with what you've achieved and stop chasing numbers on a set of scales. I think sometimes as well, it's fear of the unknown. If we've just constantly been like, my life's been devoted to trying to lose weight, and suddenly we get to our goal weight, and you're like, what do I do now? What is my life? I don't know what to do. Well, let's start, instead of dedicating time to weight loss, why don't we start dedicating time to health? Right? You might want to look at your overall diet and improve that. You might want to dedicate some time to you, right? To your mental health. Like I said, going and doing some exercise, going getting some hobbies or something like that, something that fills the gap if you've been so devoted to something that takes your mind off weight loss, really, because you don't need to lose weight anymore. I was 18 stone 7, currently 14 7. Want to be 10 stone has never, ever been that light. Again, everyone wants to be 10 stone, right? Why? Yeah? Now, don't get me wrong. It might be like, I've never been that light. Well, maybe there's a reason why you've never been that light. I look unwell at 10 stone. Me too, Paul. Absolutely. Like the BMI says I should be about 13 stone. That would be another 5.5 stone lighter than I am now, another 80 pounds down. I would look I'd look ill. I would genuinely look ill, Right, let me, I'm 5'3" and should be 10 stone for my height. Says who? Again, please ignore the BMI scale. Let me scan up and see if I'm missing anything. It's nice and hot, but I'm still in bed. It's not nice and hot. Well, actually, the sun is just creeping out. It has been peeing it down, but the sun is just creeping out, and it is meant to improve for the rest of the day. Anyway, Ryan, you'll be right, mate. Get yourself to the airport, get yourself a couple of shickers in you, and you'll be all good. And this time tomorrow, you'll be waking up in the lovely Benidorm. Right, have I missed anything? I don't think I have. Am I going? Yes, very, very shortly. This is your few minutes warning. Chad, morning, mate. Morning, Chad. I am happy. Am I happy? No, as my top size is kids 13 to 18. I'm 39. You should be happy with that. Why? Like, again, does that not mean your clothes are a bit cheaper? I'd be well happy with that. I'm always very jealous of Rachel because she's a 5.5 foot. 5.5 foot. No, she's not 5.5 foot. She's 5'2". Rachel's shoe size is 5.5. So she can buy juniors, right? And she's not got wide feet. The difference between a 5.5 juniors and a 5.5 women's is width, right? Juniors tend to be narrower. So a lot of people, you might be 5.5, but you can't fit in juniors because they'll pinch your feet. Rachel hasn't got that wider feet, so she can fit into juniors. That's the same between a women's and a men's. Some people, my mate wears, he sometimes gets, if you get unisex trainers, he's only a size 7 foot and he's got narrow feet. So he'll get size, because men's, again, a size 7 women's and a size men's, size 7 women's and a size 7 men's are the same size length, but the men's shoe's wider than the women's shoe. And anyway, Rachel can fit to juniors, and like, in women's at 5.5, it's like 100 quid for a pair of trainers. In juniors, it's like 65, just because they're a little bit narrower. And I always get very, very jealous of her being able to buy very cheap shoes. I've been buying kids age 13 to 14 clothes on top off too. Brilliant. Lovely. I think I was born in adult shoe sizes. Well, do you know what? I used to be a size 12. From losing weight, I'm now a size 11. And I do... I am a bit of a trainer fanatic, so I know way more about trainers than I should do, really, if I'm being honest with you. But anyway, there we go. Let me scan down. But stomach fat is still there slightly. You should have stomach fat, right? I don't know what Keenan said here. I'm trying to have a scan down. I've not seen anyone else. He's just put stomach fat is still there slightly. You should have stomach fat, right? It's part of being healthy. Everyone's trying to everyone's trying to like get to be really, really lean. You should have stomach fat. It's healthy. Right. Josh is in. Good morning, mate. Oh, you doing good? I'm 8 stone and have stomach fat. Yeah, you should do. Yeah, everyone should have stomach fat. It's part of health. right? Body fat is how we take a lot of vitamins and minerals into the body. It's insulation for the body, especially if you're female. Think around around your stomach area. It's called the womb, right? And that womb where you grow children, it needs protecting. It also needs heat regulation, and your body fat helps you do that, right? So yeah, you should have stomach fat. Yeah, I'm aiming to go from 26 to 14% in 36 days. Gone from 26 to 19.2. Why? How's that improving your life, Keenan? What's it doing? I always ask this. All these people that crash diet and want to get really, really lean, look, if it really, if it adds 2 inches because you're skinny when you look in the mirror and that's how you feel, then I get it. And don't get me wrong, I've got mates that are competitive bodybuilders and stuff like that, and they do go on stage, and that's part of their sport. I don't understand people that do it in everyday life. I don't understand how it improves things. It doesn't make your clothes cheaper. It doesn't knock 20% off your mortgage, right? It doesn't mean you have to pay for your car. And like Paul just said, it sounds a bit disordered. It is. It's an eating disorder. It's disordered eating, like constantly trying to like shred down for what reason? I don't get it. And like I say, it doesn't make you any more attractive to the opposite sex. It doesn't make you any better of a person. It doesn't improve your personality. So I don't get me wrong. Maybe that's the same as me saying someone that's never been 37 stone doesn't have the empathy or the understanding at times of what we go through when we suffer with weight. I've never been a really lean person, but I genuinely don't see the attraction of it because I've had loads of mates that have gone through that. And when I actually talk to them and say, was it worth it? They're like, no. I've got a mate at the moment that's doing a photo shoot thing. He's got a 12-week challenge with his PT. And he's doing, and it's all to have this photo shoot where he's got his 6-pack out and he's got this out. And he came to my barbecue a couple of weeks ago and he wasn't allowed to drink and he couldn't eat this and he couldn't eat that. And I'm like, is this just for a few pictures? And he was like, yeah. And I'm like, is it really worth it? And he was like, no, I feel crap at the moment. I'm tired. I'm lethargic. I'm not eating many calories. I feel really. So I'm like, well, why are you doing it? He said, because I paid for it and I'm invested in it now and I've got to do it. And I was like, will you do it again? And he was like, I can't think of anything worse than doing it again, but I'm going to see it out. I've done it for 9 weeks. I've got 3 weeks to go. I think he shoots this week. So, yeah, there we go. So, I just don't understand it, Right, let me... what's his name? Could you work out calories for me? Yes, Anna C, 23. Absolutely, I can. Anyone here wants their calories working out, I will work them out for you. Not a problem whatsoever. TikTok profile, Facebook page, YouTube page. Click on my link tree. Click on my community. Use code WELCOME at checkout. It will cost you just £5 for your first month, right? I will get, and as part of subscription to my community, you will get a full calorie breakdown. Can you work out calories for me as well? Yeah, absolutely, Muna. Exactly the same. TikTok Pro, you're on TikTok. Get on my TikTok profile. Click on my link tree. You'll see in my shop the sign up to my community. It says it's $9.99 a month. Use code WELCOME. It is just £5. There's no contract. You can cancel any time, so you can just pay a £5, come in, and I will work out your calories for you. And you'll get, when you sign up, you'll get an email. When you sign up, you'll get an email. In that email is a consultation form. Fill it in, ping it over to me, and I'll work out your calories and I'll send you a full calorie breakdown this afternoon. I had a baby 6 months ago, and it's so much harder this time to lose weight. I need to shift a stone. Like I say, Anna, come join the community. I'll work out your calories and I'll send it over. 6 months postpartum, perfect time to start a weight loss journey. Hopefully you've got into the routine of a new baby. Things have settled down. Your body's fully recovered from childbirth, even if even if it was quite a tough childbirth. So it's all good. There we go. Can I pay for a year so it doesn't come out every month? Yeah, you can. I tend to do yearly sign-ups in November, right? So I tend to do yearly sign-ups in November. So I do like a Black Friday 12-month sign-up deal where, because I charge a monthly direct debit for the community. but I tend to do in November. But I do a yearly sign up. So if you want my one-to-one weight loss coaching and you don't want to have a monthly direct debit going out, you can just sign up for 12 months. I only get one client a month that signs up and commits for 12 months. It's 325 quid. Stefan, you're already on plan, so I would knock the subscription fee off that. And I would do a little bit of a deal on top. So if anyone is paying for the one-to-one plan monthly and you are like, I wouldn't mind not having a monthly direct debit going out, I'm quite happy to commit to a year. Just drop me a WhatsApp and I'll let you know what it'll cost for a year to sign up, and you can just pay up front and then you're in for it. Then you're in for 12 months. Then and that's the same with the community. So the community is $9.99 a month, which over a year is £120. You can just sign up to the community, not have a monthly direct debit, £99.90, 100 quid basically, £99.99, 12 months commitment, no direct debit going out, and then you're in for a year all sorted. Yeah. You're all good. Right. That's it. You lovely, lovely people. I am, all good. That's it. I'm done. Right, I'm going to go and I'll be back in an hour and 20 minutes. If you're on plan in the community, Weight Loss Coaching Live at 11 a.m. I will send all the details out shortly. And I'll be back at 11 a.m. If you just follow me on TikTok, you blah, blah, blah. I won't be on now until Thursday morning. I might do an impromptu tea time live tomorrow. I'll see how I get on. But if not, I will be back. Right, TikTok, I'm signing off to you first. So if anyone wants to come join the community, join the one-to-one plan, TikTok profile, click on my link tree. It's an inquiry form in there, or you can just sign up, do that. If you just want your calories worked out, join the community, use code WELCOME at checkout, £5 for your first month. There's no contract, you can cancel anytime. You'll get a full calorie breakdown from me. That's it. Right, TikTok. I'm planning the community. I'll hopefully see you in an hour or so. If not, I will see you on Thursday morning, definitely. And same to you, lovely people here on YouTube, Facebook. I'll definitely be back on planning the community. I'll see you in an hour or so. Facebook, YouTube, I will 100% be back Thursday morning, 8:30, 9:30. So I haven't quite decided 100%. I think I'll put it as 9:30 in the newsletter, but I might go to 8:30. I'll see what time I get back from the gym. If I don't see you, have a good couple of days, and I'll see you Thursday morning.